You can't tell me how to rhyme with your bare right. Sorry, baby, I'll be gone till the midnight. 100,000 a mansion, it's you and I. Tell the homies I'm making it.
A little bit different today. We're gonna play catch up a little bit because I didn't do last week's update because I got the books a little bit late, so I'm folding it into this one, and those are kind of last week's reads as well, so let's talk about that. So on the last week of 2025, I got this on the 2nd, but you know, technically this is the pull list for the 31st. This is what I got, and I'll kind of talk about them as I read them as I go. Wonder Woman 12. This came out in September, but I really wanted the Yasmin cover. I really like the variant cover. I think there's another variant by Yasmin for number 16 and number 18, which I will probably get. I still read it. I'm going to get the trades. I'm getting the Absolute books in trades, so I'm going to have to wait for volume 2 of this to come out. But I did really like this. I knew about it from when it came out. I know this was like the last, it's a show more about Amazons and stuff. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I like Kelly Thompson's writing. I like Absolute Wonder Woman. It's probably my favorite Absolute run. Immortal Legend Batman. This one, I think, is the, issue 5. There's 6 issues in this run. This one has Joker in it. Joker might be the last villain that they showcase. There might not be any more, just the way that it resolved. There was Poison Ivy, Bane, Riddler, Two-Face. I did think it was kind of funny, Joker's design. I know they're all kind of technically supposed to be Bruce, but you know, Joker looking very Saja Boys. Marion Heretic number 3. I'm enjoying this one enough. I think I'm still iffy if I'm going to keep pulling it, but I really like the art and the aesthetic, just like the world of it. A lot of the writing is really lacking for me. Nothing really stood out for me in this 3rd issue either that made me want to change my mind about that. Like so far each issue, I'm just kind of like, the writing is not like the way that I would have liked, but the world and the art is just like almost worth it, like almost worth keep pulling. Red Hood versus the Joker is the DC KO fight. I wasn't gonna pull this originally. I wasn't gonna pull any of the fights, but I heard a lot of good things about this, so I tried to get it, and it did not really disappoint. You know, there was a lot of stuff that was really good, a lot of Jason moments. I think it's like implied that Joker wins because he cheats. That wasn't really super clear to me. Yeah, there was a lot of good Jason moments, and it feels a lot like a transitional period, you know, like here's kind of like a character study on Jason, and it's like he's more than just, you know, what happened to him. So it almost feels like they're like giving a transition to like a new era, a new arc for Jason, but there is no Jason book upcoming, so that's a little disappointing. I guess it was supposed to be like that Red Hood series that got canceled, but just from the issue 1 of that one, that did not feel like anything like fresh or whatever. I hope they do something instead, like a different run, a different writer, a different direction, and a different suit. Like bring back the helmet. I like the helmet. So I'm hoping, you know, there's more to come from Jason, and he's not just going to be like disappeared into the ether. Probably not, because he's really popular. You know, there's a lot of other characters that are just kind of floating around. Harley Quinn versus Zatanna. This is another DC KO fight. This was the only other one I have. I just have those 2. This one was fun too. I think, you know, there's a lot of leveling the playing field to try to get Harley to have it like a quote unquote even fight with Zatanna. Though it's really just like Harley cheating and stuff. But I think, you know, it was like relatively pretty fun. It wasn't anything like huge or special. I did like the little moments at the end where Zatanna and like Harley have like a kind of a heart to heart essentially. Ultimate Endgame. I haven't not been keeping up with Ultimates, the Ultimate line, maybe like 9 months. It's been a while. I think around like when Wolverine came out, I was just not interested in Wolverine, and then a lot of the other series I liked, but I wanted to get them in trades. I'm a little behind on that, but you know, I've kind of seen bits and pieces. I really liked Ultimate Spider-Man from what I've seen. I think it got a little weird when Richard got the suit. It was kind of like they were trying to have their younger Spider-Man and an older Spider-Man at the same time, like have their cake and eat it too. And I liked what they were doing with Ultimate X-Men. It was literally like a lot different, and it was weird at first to get used to, but I kind of grew to like it. And then the Ultimates, of course, that one was really, really good. Though the whole thing about like the Ultimate lines taking 1 month for each issue, like in real time, was really weird, especially with Black Panther, where things were just not moving along at all, but there was like months in between each issue, like in universe, like a month, you know, and that was really weird, and that was almost like a slog to read. But Ultimate Endgame number 1, it wasn't as good as I thought it would have been, especially for like the end game, you know. It was cool to see like the characters come together and they're finally gonna fight, and it was like cool to see the Eternals thing in the very beginning. But like once we're in the city, it's kind of underwhelming. What they have to fight is really underwhelming. Like the supposed reveal at the end was very underwhelming. I know it's hard to write like what would like a super smart villain do with 1,000 years of prep time, but I didn't feel like it would have been this. I might keep reading that one just because it's the end game, and then we'll see. I'm still thinking about it. And then finally I got Boy Wonder, which I haven't had before, but I really am interested in because I heard a lot of good things and I've seen a lot of good things about it, but I haven't actually read it. I'm not sure why I haven't gotten it because I've been thinking about getting it for a long time, but I did finally get it. I picked it up. I did not read it yet. I want to see if I can get it through this month. I kind of have a big reading list this month, bigger than I really wanted to, but there's no rush on anything, of course. I can just push it off to next month. I'll try to get to that as soon as possible because I am pretty keen on wanting to read that one. Now for this past week's update, here are the books that I got from that. This one is a lot of a smaller stack, but we can go through it. Batman number 5. This series is pretty good to me. I think there's a lot to like about it, just like the vibes of it. It's still pretty early for me to make like a concrete decision on. I'm excited for this one because of this villain here. It looks like they're kind of introducing like new villains every so often and new characters, like with the Doctor here. This is like the date issue. I don't know I don't know how to say this like new villain's name, but I know originally she was Lady Deathman, relation to Lord Deathman, I'm sure, which probably means maybe some connection to, now that I'm thinking about it, what's her name, Flatline, so maybe there's some Damien involvement with that. We'll see, or maybe they just changed that because they changed her name, so maybe none of that is relevant. Yeah, I like the general vibes of this run. I think I'm still like unsure about where it's going. Obviously, I've been saying maybe it's about aging Gotham. Thinking back, they are kind of getting experimented on, so maybe that's just it. It's hard to tell. I mean, Bruce talks about, I don't remember if he talks about it in this one, but he talks about it in Night Fight about how he's like not getting any younger. So maybe it is about an aging Gotham. We'll have to see. I like the episodic nature of it too, though. I think that part of it, the run, is pretty good. And speaking of Night Fight, we have Night Fight number 3. This one is supposed to be introducing Tim Drake. I mean, he's on the cover. I like the designs of the grown-up Robin so far. Like we saw the bat suits before this series came out, and I like the bat suits. I thought Tim's looks really weird though. I don't hate the design itself, but I just felt like it was weird for Tim specifically. And I liked Dick's suit, I like Jason's suit. I like their designs, like their faces, like civilian faces. I don't really like the way the direction of their Gothams or their worlds are. I don't really think Dick Grayson really is gonna have a Robin Academy. Like I kind of like the Titans Academy, but a Robin Academy seems a little weird. And then Jason being all alone in a little Red Hood felt a little weird too. Like I think it makes sense for Jason to be alone, but like to be forcibly literally alone was a little maybe on the nose. This is issue number 3. There's only 4 issues total of this run, so we will see where that goes. But yeah, I think it's just kind of like a fun little series to read. It's nothing like super serious. I do hope these characters come back, like these versions of these characters, because I think the designs would be wasted if they're just going to be in like this small 4-issue miniseries. I mean, they brought back Thomas Wayne, Flashpoint Thomas Wayne, so anything is possible. Batgirl 15, from what I understand, we're only like 2 or so more issues left of this arc, which like thank you, like because this arc is a very hard read. It's very hard to get through. It just doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't feel like it has anything to do with Cassandra Cain. I wish that it would move at a better pace or just have a better atmosphere, because like there's so many characters in this arc and almost like none of them get any attention. It's always like every issue is just like Cassandra Cain being like having like a PTSD moment, when I feel like at this point in her life she is like healed from that already. So I'm not sure why they keep like putting that handicap on her. And then like there was like that big deal about her getting a new half brother, just for him to really not do anything since he got introduced. Really, he's more of a hindrance than anything. It's not like an effort to make him interesting at all. Hopefully that changes soon, because I think he could be interesting. I still think he's actually her cousin and not her like half brother. I feel like there's a reveal waiting to happen, even if they started to push him into the sidelines. But yeah, I'm ready for this arc to be over. I'm kind of sick of reading it, but not enough to drop it because I like Cassandra Cain a lot. There is a new arc coming soon anyway. She's coming back to Gotham, having new blood powers. We'll see how that goes. The blood powers are really weird to me, but coming back to Gotham should be a lot of fun. I think that's going to be in like 2 more issues or so. So it's something pretty soon. And the final thing I got this week was the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow compact. This is going to be adding to my list of compact comics. I have every single compact comic so far, so this is adding to that. I've actually already read this story, so it's nothing really new to me. Having it in this format is pretty good. It's pretty fun. I do think, obviously the compacts, because they're cheaper, they're also made cheaper, so sometimes a lot of these colors are a little bit more washed out, and sometimes it can be hard to read. Like, these words are pretty small. Because of the format, the book is small. But I have the other trade, like the actual trade for Supergirl, so I think that's fine. Also, I really just like the compacts. I'm a big fan of them, even with all of its cons. They're pretty easy to like just read because it's like a shape of a normal book or manga, and pretty easy to lend out too if you know people that are new to comics and you want to introduce them. But yeah, I'm like a decent fan of compact comics. I like them. That's everything I got in the last 2 weeks, and then my last week's reads. I'm gonna try to do more videos on more stuff besides just weekly weekly updates, but that's really as much as I have the time for currently. I'm working on it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and let me know what you guys have been reading.
Hey, baby, I'll be gone till the midnight.